This week in the League of Legends, we've got our first realized look at the champion Bard. Additionally, we've got a small patch with some big changes. And finally, some interesting new skins to take a look at. All this and more on the Spazda Gaming Web Show.
This is Water Elemental.
And this is Axis, and we are here today to talk about the League of Legends. This is an ongoing show where we talk a little bit about everyone's favorite MOBA-style battle game.
Bard, a support-esque champion that was released, I think, Wednesday or Thursday this week. So we had some time to speculate before our show became irrelevant.
Indeed, and he is, well, he's beyond the physical universe, really.
He is wandering through my mind, thinking about all the great things about him.
So let's talk about his skills first. First, he's got his passive, which is Traveler's Call. It's a two-part ability. The first is Ancient Chimes. Bard's presence causes sacred chimes to appear on the fields of justice. What are those chimes? Do we talk about these?
Yeah, these were the glowing marks that were all around the map.
There you have it. Collecting a chime will grant Bard a brief burst of movement speed, additional experience, and some mana. Meeps are the second part of his passive. Bard's presence will attract small spirits, known as Meeps, to his side. Whenever Bard attacks, a Meep throws itself at his target, dealing extra damage before disappearing back to the spirit world. As Bard collects more chimes, the Meeps that follow him will grow in both number and power. Now, onto his regular abilities. Q, Cosmic Binding. Bard fires out a small burst of spirit energy in a line, damaging and slowing the first enemy struck. After Cosmic Binding hits an enemy, the burst of energy will continue through, searching for a secondary target. If it hits a wall, it will stun the initial target, and if it hits a second enemy, it will stun both of those targets. Next up is Caretaker's Shrine. Bard will conjure a health pack in a small AoE that gains power for a few seconds. He targets this on the ground. Allied champions who walk over the pack will gain health and a brief boost of movement speed, while enemies can stand on the pack for a moment to destroy it. His final basic ability is Magical Journey. Bard will conjure a portal on a target wall. The portal will tunnel through to the far end of the wall and grant a one-way passage to all champions, friend and foe, who enter it. And his final ability is Tempered Fate. After a brief delay, Bard can fire an AoE that will strike all units in the zone, friend or foe, including champions, minions, monsters, and turrets. It'll place them in stasis, and they'll be frozen and immune to all damage until the effect wears off. Now, this is interesting, though we're going to go over some of the crazy stuff before we go over the crazy stuff.
Yeah, so the markings, I'm curious, is it a one-time effect? If you just get that little rune on the ground once, you get the mana and the experience boost, and then it's over for the rest of the game? Or do they have cooldowns? Or is it you get the experience once, but the next time he walks by it, you will get the mana? And
I imagine it's a fixed amount per game, or maybe they appear throughout. Like there's like
they're all located throughout the map. I'm just
they're static every game.
Yeah, those are the ones that are like on near jungle, like blue buff.
I don't like
that. I'm not a fan of this mechanic. It's a creative mechanic, but this passive essentially is useless on other game modes, and that not only that, it's just you have to be wandering for this to really take place, including being in enemy jungles. So you do have your escape mechanism with Magical Journey, and you have Tempered Fate, and you do have Cosmic Bindings, but you're gonna essentially start the beginning of the game going through your jungle, grabbing that to get that additional experience. Again, I don't know if the experience is a one-time thing or how that's going to work. We'll have to see.
Yeah, it'd be like, oh, they have an enemy Bard. Let's all hide in the bush near this rune and eat his children.
Exactly. His secondary effect, giving your basic attacks a cleave on a support, is really interesting. It lets you kind of poke.
Yeah, dude, people love that. People love poke lanes, and there are so many talents now that really emphasize that. And so that's a very good skill to learn on any support.
Yeah. Cosmic Bindings, standard, skill shot stun, hit 2 targets. It's a slower projectile, and it does the same thing as Lux's ability.
It's a fat projectile, I think, is the biggest thing. It's a very large projectile. So even if it's a little slower, the fact that you can really hit a lot of targets, you don't have to be as precise. So that's kind of good, and it's kind of bad. On the one hand, it means because it's slower and shorter range, it's really sort of a close support. On the other hand, though, because it's so large, like, you can really get creative with it, and I think that's something a lot of people like in supports.
Yeah, and again, there's going to be a lot of places that are going to be close quarters where the bard's just going to show up, and you're like, well, I'm going to get stunned. You know, like, definitely in jungle, in river, and, you know, in between lanes. So
very good for wandering, because he has to wander so much through jungles and stuff. It's a very good defensive tool for him.
Caretaker's Shrine, it's kind of a mixed bag. It's really cool that you're going to be able to put up these like static like health packs. They take a really long time to wind up, so you're not going to be able to heal like as actively as, say, other supports. But you're going to set up kind of a nest behind your tower early game for your AD carry. Yeah, so your AD carry will just go up, grab a health pack, run back in because of that movement speed. So they'll just kind of back and forth. And then late game, I'm not sure how long these last. So you could be putting them all over the places, like wards. You could be putting them down in jungle for the jungle to grab it.
I'm curious if they give vision.
That is another thing I'm wondering, is if they do give vision. Because you can't see from the promo videos they come out with, and I haven't seen anything in
the PvE environment.
Yeah.
So that's interesting. There's a lot of cool stuff that could happen with that, and even without vision, it's a cool mechanic.
And does it scale with AP?
Well, I guarantee it. I guarantee.
I barred it.
E is Magical Journey, which is a mechanic I'm excited for.
Very unique.
Any wall. It's not a wall you can flash over. It's not a wall you can tumble over. Any wall. So if there's a line to an exit wall, you can do it there.
Right. And I'm wondering how well this is going to work out, because we've seen really creative mechanics like Syndra and Azir, and they still don't work fine. Let's see how well these work, how reliable they're going to be when Bard is released.
The main thing that I'm curious about is how this affects unit pathing, how you activate it, or if it's a simple move command. Because if it affects pathing, that means your character will default go to it. If it is non-activated, it means you can cheese it, which means, hey, I'm Alistair. Hey, this guy's too close to me. Hole, push him through the hole, walk away. It's just, there are so many questions I have about this ability, and I really want to tinker around with it. I just haven't had the time yet. But it's fascinating.
Yes.
And there's a lot of stuff that you can do.
And Tempered Fate, this is probably my favorite ability, just because of the potential of being just so annoying. People are at Dragon. Oh, I'm gonna do Tempered Fate on it, put the whole enemy team in stasis. Jungle gets set up. He flashes. He flashes behind, ignites, or what is it? Smites it. Gets the dragon buff, and then he used Magical Journey to run away. So there's just like
unreal. Other things that we saw, dodging all kinds of activated effects. Zillion bombs are a big one that are susceptible to this. Katarina's ult was crazy for this. Outlasting Ignite was crazy for this.
Another one that I could see that would be really funny is a Scion mid-charge. Stopping Scion in this track.
That would be pretty good.
So anything that, is an activated or, a wind-up ability. So there's a lot of uses for this. Positioning, offensively, defensively. So it's going to be one of those abilities that I'm wondering how powerful it's going to be when people get it in their hands and using it.
Yeah, I mean, another thing to remember is that it doesn't stop outgoing damage of characters. It only pauses them, which means this is a second invulnerability for Fiddlesticks, for characters with immolation effects, for all kinds of crazy stuff.
Right. So it's going to be essentially a more mobile and useful AoE hourglass.
Mm-hmm. And I'm just curious to see how creative players can get with this.
So what do you think about his design, his overall character model and stuff?
Well, we'll have to see when that's finalized next week. Or 6 weeks from now. I don't know what they're doing.
I was just curious, because a lot of people are like, oh my god, he's so fat. And other people are like, oh, he does not fit the league thing.
Poro design is Poro design.
And along with that, we got it's not a big patch, but it's a big patch.
So we got, the biggest things we got were all the changes to the DFG characters that we were talking about on the PBE. But some others we didn't expect were Jaina. Jaina Proudmoore got some changes. Janna got a change to Tailwind. Now gives all allies within range a movement speed bonus while they're moving toward Jaina.
Kind of like the captain's boots.
Yeah, so this looks to include minions, which is bad. And Zephyr now has a 5% boost at all ranks to account for her passive getting nerfed.
I don't like this. It should have just been a static movement speed thing while you're around her. Moving towards Janna. Now I'm doing it too.
See, I gotcha.
Been playing too much Heroes. It's too much. How often is this going to be triggered when you're running towards your support? You know, you're always running.
It's a runaway tool.
Yeah, and it used to be that, you know, hey, having her on your team just gives you kind of something nice. I miss the old global passives.
3% was crazy.
But don't worry, to counter this, they buffed Zephyr. The movement speed went up to 70% at 5th rank.
It gained 5% at all ranks to account for the amount she lost, which is J4. Base armor went up by 3. Flat armor on Demacian Standard got taken away because got a nerf J4. Oh my goodness, it's terrible. It's terrible.
Terrible.
Callistier. We're just doing them all. We're just doing them all.
Just going through the loops.
We got Catriona coming up here in a little bit. Callistier's basic attack wind up got knocked down a little bit, so it speeds up a little bit less fast, so you can't quite get the little juke spears going quite as quickly as you would normally. Kassadin, they just nerfed him again.
Rift Walk, the range went down to 450, and the mana cost went down to 60.
He cannot jump out of most marksman's auto attack.
He can't even jump over some walls now.
Yeah, it's a little bad.
But the mana cost, no.
Catriona, passive got changed. If an enemy champion dies within 3 seconds of her dealing damage to it, cooldowns will be reduced by 15 seconds rather than just flat kill or assist.
So everybody at first was like, oh, this is a good change. This is not a good change because now it's got to be within a certain amount of seconds. It's not directly after a kill.
Mm-hmm. So you can't briefly tag somebody.
They die to a dot.
And then they die, and even if you get the assist, you won't necessarily get the CD resets. So she's going to be less effective in team fights, I think. But I kind of hate runaway Katarinas, so that's not really a big deal for me. Mordekaiser, he got almost exactly the changes that we said last week. Main thing is his health costs on all of his abilities went down. He gains slightly less... he gains a significantly less amount of shield versus minions, but a lot more when fighting heroes. Additionally, the big change for Creeping Death was there, wherein he
gains the effect if he puts it on an ally.
Yeah, so he gets that huge support boon, which is awesome. And of course, Children of the Grave no longer grants them the bonus to his ability power, but instead he grants them a big chunk of health, and he steals a big chunk of their health and their ability power. So it's sort of a parasitic relationship there. It's pretty fun. Vegar, he got those changes. The big ones, of course, Baleful Strike is now a skill shot. It's now got the slightly extended range, slightly longer cooldown, but he has the chance to hit the 2 targets. Dark Matter, of course, slightly reduced cooldown, significantly reduced mana cost. And Event Horizon now has the Conjuring duration and a slightly reduced cooldown, increased range, and a bigger AoE. And finally, his ulti got the AP ratio reduced for some reason, and the mana cost reduced, which is decent, and the cooldown reduced by 10 seconds. Again, big nerf to Vegar, unfortunate.
And finally, the Zillion changes his new time bomb, where you can place it down in a certain area, and it will stick, and people can pick it up. Rewind no longer reduces the cooldown of Chrono Shift, which is a biggie, but his other abilities will kind of supplement that. And Time Warp, the slow amount got increased significantly to 99%
at max rank,
and the cooldown to 15 seconds. And that's just They even had to put a note. It's like, yes, that is 99% movement speed.
It's pretty nuts. The main thing I think that's going to affect his kit is chrono shift at 60 seconds at max rank is pretty big. And the stun that he gets from double stacking his bombs in the AoE is pretty fun. It's going to be a lot of new stuff for Zillion players to tinker around with, even if they're a little bit sour about it. The reduced duration on his slow is definitely a big deal, but getting the stun is awesome.
Small item changes, nothing too big, so if you use those items, check it out. They're affecting Sweeping Lens, Duran's Shield, the Enchantment Warrior, and Zizzarat's Portal. But the main thing is that they are changing smites, and we are losing a Summoner spell. So with Smite, they are...
reducing the range, primarily.
Yeah, it's down to 500. The edge of the champion's hitbox is the edge of the opponent's hitbox. So you kind of have to judge things a little bit better when you're...
So it's not like a straight 500, it's... like really tight how close you can get, so it's not that much of a loss.
Yeah. And finally, Revive has been removed from the game. I haven't seen anything about why.
Let me pour out a 40 for my old pal Revive Karthus.
Yeah.
Oh man.
So if you guys used Revive, I don't think anybody uses Revive anymore. It's gone in all game modes.
It's gone.
It's gone. It can join promote in the I was here, I'm gone again, I'm here again, I'm gone again.
Yeah, I might as well take out everything but Smite, Ignite, and Flash.
And Exhaust. Exhaust is coming back.
Exhaust meta win.
DJ Sona's out if you want to pick her up. She's on sale for...
get your cosplay pate going.
Yeah, she's only 2,450 RP for the first 4 days, and then she's going to go to 3,250. You don't only get the skin, you get 3 banners and 3 summoner icons, one for each of the 3.
And a cool skin.
Yeah, and dem beach, yo. But yeah, that's pretty much the patch. A lot of really harsh nerfs.
Ooh.
And a lot of changes that I'm hoping to see will make certain characters better. On the PvE, we have a few things. The first up is 3 new skins. The first one being Headhunter Akali.
The second being the Boner. What is his name? Galleon.
Galio. Debonair Galio.
The Boner Galleon is a ship of despair. Man, I am losing my mind. It's too late. It's a Sunday night. I'm ready to party.
Yeah, so Galio got a Debonair skin. It's a Debonair skin. No particle effect changes. It's just a suit.
Nice, cheap, interesting, fun.
And then we've got one for Xinyao, which is a secret agent one where he gets a new back animation where he puts his spear into a suitcase and then, you know.
Oh, dude, makes sense.
They're small changes. The Akali one... pretty interesting to see. They have a lot of cool particle effects with it. I think out of the 3...
finally nice to see them rounding out the Headhunter skins, which is good.
Yeah, really cool glowing, like, you know, scythes and particles and all that stuff.
And, yeah, I mean, there's some particle changes and some texture updates on the PvE, and we'll be seeing those next patch, and I know you're particularly excited about one of them.
Jim. I wonder who I'm talking to.
Who could it be? But that's it for official news this week. We're going to move on to our own section here. Our first question this week comes from the Boss I Am MC. Asks, will Morde ever get a buff or become viable? No, he will not.
He will never get a buff.
He will never hoi like he once hoi-hoied.
He will never be es numero un hoi.
Only if you jib him money. Our next question comes from Ferborn. He says, which temporary game mode has been your favorite?
Ooh, that's a hard one. Everybody's really enjoyed Earth. I'm hoping that gets to come back this April Fool's. Besides that, I think the one I enjoyed the most was the 5-man. Everybody plays one hero, and then whoever
All for One was pretty good.
All for One was pretty good. And you know, those were my 2 favorites. Some of the other ones were lackluster. I have to say my least favorite was Snowdown Showdown.
My favorite temporary game mode was probably Dominion. It was pretty good for the week that it was out.
Access has gone to a silence, so now I'm going to be reading off the next question. Comes from Mester12. With the people of Man-at-Arms made the Leona Blades and the Man-at-Arms Reforge made the Catriona Dual Blades, what weapons you guys would like to turn real? Someone did the Draven, or not Draven, the Darius axe to scale, and they couldn't pick it up. They had to use a pulley system just to get it up in the air. That
I
one
saw
was
it
really
on
cool.
Alt Chat. It was hilarious.
Was that the one on All Chat?
I think so.
Okay. Yeah, there was that one. As far as like something I would like to see Tarek's Shield and Hammer. Honestly, that would be really cool to see a full on like really gem like hammer with all the shards and stuff coming out of it. What about you?
If I had to see one in particular, I'd have to go. I mean, I don't want to say Garen's Demacia and Justice because I already made a Demacia and Justice perfect.
Until like I broke it.
Ugh. But maybe Renekton's axe, that would be fun. Susan's staff would be a good one. Karthus' scepter would be fun.
What's the book?
But as far as one that would really blow my mind,
Akali's axe would be kind of cool.
shoot, what is a good one these days? I think I would like to see like Varus's bow. I think that'd be cool.
Ooh, or let's see, pulling up the. I would like to see Rek'Sai's hands.
I would like to see Amamu's toilet paper.
A Blitzcrank's fist. Corky's hot rod. I don't know. There's some pretty cool ones.
I want to see Yorick's shovel. Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, there's most of the really recognizable ones have already been converted in one way or another. But yeah, those are some of the ones I'd like to see.
Yeah, I remember at a con here in Denver, a girl was doing Aurelia, and she had
The blades.
that closed and opened. That was super cool. But
Yeah.
creativity is crazy. It's weird how that works. But that's it for questions this week, guys. We love to answer questions. Try to answer at least 2, sometimes 3 on the show. If you have a question for us about what we're doing, about what's coming up for the show, about Patreon, about what we're doing, about why we're doing it, about
How we're doing it?
about what we're thinking about, you know, ooh, get a little cheeky.
Thinking about you with the fans.
Feel free to post it down in the comment section below. You can send it to our email at
@gmail.com.
or post it on our Facebook, Twitter, or on our website.
It's back. It looks the same, but I made tweaks to it so it looks a lot cleaner and room to add.
Sejuani's mace. That's what I want to say.
And the boar. Just make the boar.
Yeah, post them on in. We'll take a look-see. Website's back up. It's fascinating. It's lovely. We're reordering everything. It's really good. Take a look. Patreon.com/spasticgaming. It's up. It's accepting your things. There's cool content you can look at. You can make fun of us in HD. But that's really it for us this week, guys. This has been Axis.
And Water Elemental.
And, did you get a new wallet?
I did.
Oh my, what is this skull face?
It's an Assassin's Creed wallet. It was the
Oh
only one
my
that actually had like a
God.
pocket for my ID.
Oh.
It's Black Flag. It's the only good
Yeah,
one.
I bet it is.